Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Power 9 Podcast, the number one MTG podcast from Singapore. My name is Mick. I'm one of your hosts, and today I'm riding solo. Anyway, this week we have a very special guest on our show who's not here right now. In fact, we did the interview with him quite a while back. And if you want to know more, just stay tuned. His name is James Poletayev. I hope I'm not getting that wrong. I did the interview quite a while back. And he is from Sunland Studios. He does card alters, which we had an episode about it not too long ago. So if you're new to the podcast, this is the Power 9 Podcast. Every week we release our episodes on power9podcast.com. You can find us on mtgcast.com. You can also find us on Stitcher and iTunes. I'm going to drop the Stitcher soon. You can find us on all your popular podcast services, including Podcast Republic, which is one of my favorites. You can also find us on Facebook, facebook.com/power9podcast. Remember to like our page and follow and subscribe. You can find us on Instagram at Power9Podcast, and you can find us at Twitter at Power9Podcast. The 9 is the number 9. So, I'm just going to do a very quick show this week because I don't have anyone to talk to except myself, which is essentially what we do every week, except there's two of us talking to ourselves. This week, in my week in Magic. Just nicely, my phone goes off. So this week in Magic, I've been rocking this modern deck, which I made. It's a blue-white Vial deck. I think you guys have been hearing quite a lot about it. If you want to know what it's all about, it's little tempo plays. You play, Judge's Familiar. You play Thalia just for the taxation, and then you play a lot of bounce creatures and detain creatures. Reflector Mage is awesome. And you run Aether Vial. Aether Vial is the thing that makes it work. Of course, 3 mana is actually what makes the deck work, because once you get the 3 mana, you can cast stuff like Geist of Saint Traft with any sword. I do not have the Sword of Fire, Sword of Mind and Fire, Fire and Mind, Fire and Body, I don't know. But you can use any other sword, and equipped on a Geist of Saint Traft is quite awesome. You can also run Geist of Saint Traft with Worship, which is just as good. What else can you do? Right, you can cast Lief Sky Knights. They're great for detaining, and remember, Lief Sky Knights detain not only creatures but non-land permanents that your opponents control. So you can detain you can detain planeswalkers, as well as if you're playing the mirror match, you can also detain his what's that thing called? Aether Vial, right? You also play Flicker Wisps, and the cool part about the deck, I would have to say, is actually the Eldrazi Displacer, and the deck runs a few colorless sources, including a Wastes, in case one of your creatures gets pathed to exile. That was my week in Magic. I went for the Modern Tournament on Wednesdays, and I 3-0'd the tournament. It was great. It was fun to play. This deck is really awesome. Go try it out for yourselves. If you are wondering where you can find it, you can go to tappedout.net and look for the guy called Seizmakki, Seizmakki. Man, I can't bring it up right now. What's up with this? Oh no, it's Seizmakki, Seizmakki. I think. Oh well, whatever. You can find it. So that was my week in Magic. Didn't do very much. Playing with a new Tazri deck, which is very, very fun. Tazri's first ability should not be understated. It is quite awesome. The minute he lands on the battlefield and you get to search out your deck for the most relevant thing at the moment is quite a play. So this week there's been quite a lot of news. Let's go through the first piece. New FNM promos out from March to May. So March's one is Smash to Smithereens, something that's in standard right now, not being played too much, but still it's a relevant card. As we head into Shadows over Innistrad, I don't see this being a powerhouse. We don't see a lot of artifacts in standard right now, but still very nice. I like that the art is a goblin. It's Zada, in fact, of Slap Haven, and basically he's breaking Hedrons. Nice. In April, there's a Blighted Fen. It looks very, very pretty. I want to see a foil version of this. Like all the smoke kind of looks like it should be highlighted, and maybe the water is highlighted with all the wastes products in the lands, probably dulled out. I like that card. I like it a lot. One great thing about Edwin not being here, or any other guests not being here, is that I get to make all the weird sound bites. Excellent. Yeah. I don't think I do Mr. Burns very well. Smithers. And finally, in May, we have Goblin Warchief, which is... What? Goblin Warchief, where is this from? Is this in anticipation for Eternal Masters? Is this for Conspiracy 2, which we'll get to in a while? I have no clue. Goblin Warchief. This is a very cool card. Or goblin spells you control cost 1 less to cast, and goblin creatures you control have haste. This is being played in Legacy. So what's it doing here, I wonder? It doesn't really coincide with Eternal Masters at all. So Eternal Masters is in June. What's this doing here? Maybe it's coming out in Shadows over Innistrad. Oh well. So let's go through the other pieces of news that came out this week. They were also announcing Conspiracy 2, which was very fun to watch as Brago took the crown, and then Marchesa took the crown, and we had no idea what was happening, which was very fun. But Conspiracy 2 is going to be called Conspiracy Take the Crown. So it's going to be passed around a lot, I bet. It's going to have the same mechanics as... it's going to have some of the same mechanics as Conspiracy 1. So we're going to have conspiracies, which is great. We're going to have weird, drafty, draft face-up cards, which are awesome. And we're probably going to get new versions of the legends, and closer to the date we'll probably do a lore episode about Conspiracy and why there are there's Marchesa, there's Brago, there's what's the red black guy, they're all of these guys fighting for the crown. And where does Dak Faden step into all of this? Maybe we'll get a new version of Dak Faden. That will be really awesome. On top of that, Ultra Pro has their new John Avon playmats. I like it. I really like it a lot. They finally got the rights, or I guess the permission to reprint John Avon's artwork on playmats. And John Avon, well, he does a lot of cards in Magic, but I think what he's most famous for are the full art lands from Unhinged, the full art lands from Zendika. Basically, his lands in general, they are beautiful. Like his artwork is beautiful. I'm not saying other artists their artwork is not that nice, but yeah, his artwork is pretty good. So yeah, look forward to that. They say, right now they're just mock-ups, and you can find it. You can find some pictures on tcgplayer.com. Their Facebook, their Facebook and their Instagram has some stuff. And finally, there's a tweet by Aaron Forsyth this week. And he says, the Eldrazi have left huge footprints on Modern, but we aren't issuing any emergency bans, and emergency is in inverted commas. We'll assess everything on the normal timeline. What the hell does this mean? So yeah, we're kind of guessing, Eldrazi. I mean, we're seeing Eldrazi Modern everywhere. It's beating hard. That Eye of Ugin is just unfair. It is excess mana. On turn 1, you can have 3 creatures on the battlefield, and you can win the game practically on turn 3. So it's not it's sometimes not a very fun deck to play against. In fact, in most times it's not a very fun deck to play against. I play, right now I'm rocking the blue-white Aether Vial deck. And once in a while, I get lucky enough to to out aggro them or to out tempo them. But man, that deck is sick. So for those of you who are having a hard time dealing with Eldrazi's, well, you're gonna have to just bite your tongue and just keep playing, because they're not gonna have any bans anytime soon. I foresee it. I don't foresee them banning it in the next, in the next set when Shadows over Innistrad comes out. They say everything on the normal timeline. They usually do Modern bans at the beginning of the Pro Tour, a few weeks prior to the Pro Tour. That's in January. So you gotta wait about a year. I'll be surprised, but I won't be. I won't be surprised if they come out with a ban sometime, in the next few months. So who knows? Aaron Forsyth, please tell us what you mean. So yeah, that's it for this week. We've got an interview with James Poletayev. Again, I really hope I'm saying it right. He's Russian, but he's from New Jersey, and he does card art. And if you missed our previous episode on altered art, go visit that. I think it's a few episodes ago. Altered art reality. Without further ado, here's the interview with James. Hello everyone, and welcome back to a very special segment of the Power 9 podcast. This week we have a guest on our show that we don't usually have. He's all the way from New Jersey in America, and he runs this place called Sunland Studios. You might have heard of it. Let me welcome to the show James Poletayev, or rather, just Jim.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Hey, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on. We've been looking into a lot of card alters these days, and would love to hear your side of things over there in the States.
Yeah, no, I'm ready to talk about everything you want to know.
Okay, so before we begin, let the people know at home know who you are, where you're from, and why did you get into card altering in the first place?
Yeah, so my name is Jim, and I run Sunland Studios. It's a card altering service we supply the Central Jersey area and Rutgers University. Um, so I mean, it's a huge area. I have my products in a couple of maybe like 5 or 6 local stores in our area. And we're pretty big on Instagram, Sunland Studios on Instagram, and so we get commissions through that as well, and our Facebook page. Yeah, we're in New Jersey. I actually just yesterday did an altar for somebody in Belgium, and shipped.
What?
Yeah, it was really cool. They shipped me. They saw a card on my page. It was Venser, Shaper Savant.
Oh yeah, yeah. I see. I'm on your Facebook page right now. Yes, there's a full art of Venser. Oh, it's
Yeah,
pretty. Oh man, that's pretty neat. You added in the details for his spell casting.
yeah.
Is that
That's what the
right?
guy asked me. Yeah.
Oh,
He was
okay.
like, listen, I want Venser, but I want Venser in a cool position, in like a cave. I want some spells slinging around, and I was like, I got you. I read his mind, and then so I shipped it to him. So hopefully he hears this, and then likes the finished product.
It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah,
You don't have to worry. It looks pretty sweet. Although it would have been really funny if the instead of the squares that run his spell casting circle would be like alphabets, like just the alphabet A B C D E F G all the way
yeah,
through.
yeah. My friend actually, that's really cool. My friend also suggested, you know how in Pokemon there's the unknowns.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's another idea. Maybe like have the unknowns floating around him.
Okay, so all right, so that's Sunland Studios. How many people? Is it just you who's doing the altering?
Well, I get help from a couple people, but usually, yeah, it's just me. I do the vast majority of the work. So like I would say 90% of it is me.
Okay. All right. So who usually approaches you for the card alters? Is it usually Commander players, Legacy, Modern? I don't think there's a lot of demand for standard card alters, are there?
Yeah, I mean you're absolutely right. Like since standard rotates so quickly, like nobody really has like really strong connections unless they're like some really cool reprints. Like I don't know. There's some in BFZ, but you get the point. Like it's not so much standard, but I get a lot of commander and a lot of modern because modern is a really really popular format in
Uh,
Central Jersey. There's like always like PPTQs going on and IQs and all this type of stuff. So like for example, before the twin ban, I probably did like 20 sets of Pestermites. Like
20
yeah,
play
like
sets. We're talking about play sets, right? Not.
yeah. So like 80 Pestermites in my time I've altered like I mean
That's and
yeah.
now and now unfortunately, well, I guess you would have been damn good at that. Like
Yeah.
after 5 play sets in, I think you like perfected it and started. You
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
have a print. What's one of those printing presses just to
Um yeah, like just computer
yeah.
robotized everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
put it into the machine. You press down and they're like, oh, it comes out.
No, I wish there was a machine like that, man. Like all of every single alter, like I'm currently altering somebody's entire modern deck. So like
Oh
75 cards, plus 5 tokens, and every single card by hand.
man, that sounds like quite a pain. And here's the thing, like your alters seem to be more of a art extension rather than replacing the art altogether.
Sometimes, most of the time, the ones that I really like, the ones that really come out looking crisp are those extensions because whenever somebody asks you to replace the art, it's like usually like an inside joke, or I don't know, like a couple friends of mine, they asked me to get like like matching Dragon Ball Z characters on their commanders. They all play commander with each other, but in general, for example, on my page, the Argothian Enchantress.
Yes.
For Legacy, a friend of mine asked me to do one Argothian Enchantress for each season. So we have one in the spring, one in the winter, one in the summer, and one in the fall. So I sort of like changed it around some of the art in the actual card and made it look, winter theme or spring or fall with, leaves falling and all that stuff. So sometimes when the customer asks, like, can you completely change the art around, I'll do it. Like, and sometimes just a little bit. Sometimes like I'm gonna upload there's one on my Instagram, but I haven't put it on my Facebook. There's somebody asked for an altar of Dispel, but
and it's wow, that's cute. What's the art style though?
it's like I didn't extend the art at all. It's just within the art box itself. I completely just made it like blue and then painted like Picasso's like blue woman during his blue period.
That's why I did go to the Picasso Museum. I was trying to figure out like where have I seen this seen this before. That's really cute. I love the hand that comes out like on the
right, because that art, that's the Ravnica art, and in that art it's like there's like a Merfolk guy and he's just kind of waving away a spell, like he's just dispelling it like with so I stuck the hand in.
It would be it would be really funny if the hand's like coming out from the bottom, so it's like it's her casting the spell, and randomly there's a hand like it's so cute. I see some toys that you have on your Instagram page. Do you actually paint the toys?
Yeah, so Funko Pop creates like these custom blank Funko Pop models, and what I do is this is like I've done it for a bunch of my friends. I made a Borborygmos actually recently for a friend of mine. Basically like, well, actually, you know what? I shouldn't have said that because that was a surprise for him.
When are you gonna gift it to him though?
Sorry, but anyway, so you take these blank Funko Pops and then like with paper mache and like modeling glue and spray paint and all this stuff, you can really just like make your own Funko Pop model, because the ones for Magic, there's only like a Johnny and Liliana and Jace, like the standard planeswalkers, but they don't have like specific models and characters and stuff. So so if you want to make like a specific one, you gotta get the blank, and then you gotta edit those.
So you made a Borborygmos. I'm trying to imagine what it could look like though, with like an extremely large head and a very small body.
I'm actually gonna upload it once I give it to him. I'm gonna upload a photo, and it's so it's the same like normal big head, small body, like the Bobble Funko Pop, models. But then he's got these tiny cute little horns. He's got this like cute little goatee. He's holding like a trunk of a tree because he's a giant Cyclops. So like his weapon is actually like a giant tree,
Oh, that's really cute.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, when did you start Sunland Studios, and maybe when did you? I don't know if you do play Magic or not. I believe you do. So yeah, maybe let's start with when you started playing Magic and like why. When you started Sunland Studios and like why.
Yeah. Actually, probably a good question. Good question. I started playing back in Kamigawa, which is I think 2004 or 2005, something like that. I played it like Kamigawa, and that was also like there was Cold Snap cards available and like Darksteel cards around that point. So like I was playing like back in those days, like Darien, King of Keldor, which is actually a really cool EDH deck.
Oh
And
yeah, that's my friend has a Darien deck. It's quite fun.
yeah, because like you don't understand why he's doing damage to himself, and
Yeah,
then you realize
exactly.
like, oh, okay.
There's this land that produces three colors, three mana of any color, but you're producing white in a mono white deck. Why?
Yeah,
So yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And then
Exactly.
when they go off, like once you cast Darien, like you go off in your infinite combo, like people just look at you and like, oh, oh, oh.
Yeah. Sometimes you need the infinite combos, otherwise your commander game will like be 3 hours and it's
Yeah,
just a mess.
that's
So,
true.
but
We've got a friend who plays Child of Alara. So we
yeah,
started complaining like, man, your deck has way too many infinite combos. So he started taking them out, and once he took all of them out, we realized, okay, your deck has no way to kill us.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I wanted to. I like my favorite like commander is Carador, the Ghost
Correct.
Chieftain.
Oh yeah, and you have an altar of him, I think, on
Yeah,
your.
yeah, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, and so he's a fantastic general, but everybody always tells me, listen, you make a character deck, you got to put combos in it, and I was so like against doing it because you don't want to, you want to just play like a fair game, maybe birthing pod, but like no combos, just kind of like have like a one after the other, like one mana bigger creature to play, but eventually like I would just get blown away by some of the people that I would play against. So I put in the Revelar, Sun Titan, Karmic Guide combo, whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, no, I totally get it. Like combos.
Combos
Anyway,
do help to end the game. I generally don't play with combos. Or when I do, and if it goes off, the next game I will take it out. Like I,
yeah,
uh, I have to play one game and then it goes off and like, yeah, okay, I'm happy, I'm satisfied. Uh,
exactly. Yeah,
yeah, I checked it off my list. Uh,
yeah.
so when
But
did you
anyway,
start?
so
So when did you start a Sunland Studios then?
yeah, but I've been playing for a while, but I'm graduating college right now, and I was looking. So one day I was just sitting there, and I got to give a shout out to my friend Marty, because I saw the card Fiend Hunter from Innistrad. I think it's Innistrad.
Yes, Fiend Hunter is from Innistrad. Yes,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
like
know that card very well.
I yeah, super good in Commander. Just overall like decent card. And he took Fiend Hunter has a cape, and he took a Sharpie and he colored that cape like I don't remember, bright red or bright blue, and he made it look so cool. And I was like, wow, okay. So the next day I went out and I bought myself like a set of multicolored Sharpies, and I like sat down and I took a card and I tried a Sharpie on it and it came out looking awful. And so I was like, all right, this isn't the right way to do it. So then I did like some searching online and YouTube videos and stuff, and eventually I got to a place and they were like, you got to use paint. So
Mhm.
luckily I play like tabletop miniature games I've played in the past, and I have a whole collection of paints. So I started like making my own like homebrew paints with like a little bit of ink added, a little bit of water. You sort of
Mhm.
create your own like your own little homemade paints. And I sat down and I started altering. I was playing my commander deck at the time was Asperia, the newer Asperia from Return to Ravnica.
Speria. That's the one where you oh man, you draw a card.
Yeah, when you get attacked. Yeah, when somebody attacks you, you draw.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So like you don't
Judge.
want
Yeah.
to. It's like really political. Like you don't want to. You play it and you're like, well, don't attack me, because then I
I'm
get to
gonna
draw.
draw
Like,
cards,
okay,
man.
fine, yeah, exactly. And then you just sit there like not really do much. But anyway, um, so that was my commander at the time, and Asperia has a foil. And on a college budget, I don't want to shell out for a foil. So I sat down and I was like, all right, let me see if I can make this unique. And honestly, at this point, and I'm not biased at all. I do have my own altering business, but I'm not biased whatsoever. Like I honestly feel like in certain situations, alters just look better than the foil or promo versions of the cards. Hands
That
down, I got to like. There's some cards out there, the promos look beautiful.
Uh-huh.
All the Legacy Land promo, Judge promos, like Urborg foil. Like if you have $60, go get the Urborg foil. Like from Planar Chaos, if you have the money. Like it's a great, beautiful, beautiful card.
Mhm.
But with Asperia, I figured why not? I'll give it a try. That was my first ever altar. Came out horrendous. I'm never gonna show it to anybody because it was just awful. But
That was the first try though. That was like
yeah. Luckily, I had like 4 copies of the card because it was my favorite card at the time.
We'll
but,
try again.
Yeah, exactly. But the third altar I ever did actually was a commission because between my first altar that I ever did and my third altar, I improved like so much. Like if you go on my Instagram page, the Yavimaya Coast is the third altar I've ever done.
Wow, and you still have the card. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you still have the first? Do you still have the first one?
Yeah. And it was a commission for a friend of mine, and he like looks at it and he's like, "Wow, like how did like this is incredible. This is so professional." And I was like, "Yeah, I did it last night. It was like third try or something like that."
It's so bright though. Like I like the colors. It really pops out.
Thank you. And so after that point, I was like, man, like this is something that I really, really love doing, and people are starting to ask me to do this. So I started off, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this for my friends, my college friends. I'm gonna do it for like $10 a card, just super whatever. And I stuck to that. Like my rates, like, I do like a play set for like 45 between 40 to $45 a play set of cards. Like you won't, you know what I mean? Like I'm part of all their altering forums online, and people post there all the time, and it's just like hundreds of dollars. So my original intention with this stuff was to make it like easily accessible to everybody who wanted an altar, just like, quick, not even quick, just because I take my time with them, but kind of just like in the area. If anybody wants an altar, they just like get it a week later. I make it
it's
for them.
It's convenient for them, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that over time became like this big thing. I started a Facebook page, and my girlfriend was like, "Oh, start an Instagram page," and then from there it just like blew up. Like emails all the time from, like, I'm telling you, like from Belgium. Like Belgium, I just shipped. It's like all the, like it blew up. I can't even I can't explain like how big it got from like literally just me sitting in my bedroom, just kind of sharpieing some, like, I don't know, Sunblast Angel, like, oh, I wonder how this will look,
Do you have like a specialized studio right now for all your altars?
Yeah, it's like I'm transitioning to something like that now. I'm sort of like halfway between moving up from just like my bedroom, but I haven't really committed fully to a big studio area yet. Kind of working up to that. But I definitely have like this area where I sit down and I just like have this like dedicated desk space to the altars. Yeah.
Okay. So let's say when you start a commission, like what usually happens? Does the customer usually suggest the type of altar, or do you suggest it to the customer?
So what people do is, I mean, they come to me and like 85% of the time they'll have an idea. So they'll be like, hey, listen, I have a playset of Vampire Nighthawk. Make him look like Batman. And I'll be like, all right, done. No problem. You don't even have to pay me for this. This is great. This is an amazing idea, And then other times, like the other 15% is going to be people who come to me and they're like, for example, on my Instagram page, the latest one I uploaded, I think was like Mogus, right? That's a real EDH commander. And Mogus and EDH is, if you know, it's like a prison deck. Like you have like blood moons and enchantments that make everybody sacrifice things and like discard your hand, and it's like very like slow, grindy prison type match.
It's a fun police deck. Maybe not fun police.
Yeah.
It's a prison type deck. Yeah.
yeah. So he was like, listen, I want Mogus. I want an altered Mogus, but I have no idea like what to do it about. Like, use your artistic judgment. And so I made Mogus, but in the background I made a Blood Moon because I know he has Blood Moon in his deck. Like every
Okay.
Mogus EDH has to have a Blood Moon.
Yep.
So, and sort of like incorporated that element into the deck and into the card, and he loved it, and that's the type of stuff that is actually like I want to say between you and me like the most fun when people just come to you and say, listen, I'm gonna give you just artistic leeway, do what you want with it, and then that's when it really comes out like really cool because I'll just be sitting there and I'll be looking at the card and then like an idea will hit me and I'll just be like, oh my god,
I like
yeah,
that. I like that you delved into the guy's deck to figure out like what needs to go into Mogis. I think only players. I guess like I suppose you play a lot of Commander as well since
yeah. I play Modern and Commander, a little bit of Standard, hardly any Legacy,
so
no
so
Vintage.
yeah, so that's the thing. Like I think when you're playing the game, like you get the context of what needs to go in the art. For example, you were talking about Pestamite, right? I would have imagined that one of the versions of Pestamite would be a few other Pestamites in the background. Yeah, about to
Yeah,
follow.
yeah. No, you're what? Yeah, like you're 100% correct because like you can't do an alter if you don't know what it is that you're altering it and why you're altering it, what you're altering it for.
Hmm.
Like so. For example, a perfect example. I might, you know what? After this, I might just upload this photo, but it's a Pestermite that I did, but it was just like it's like on on like a scroll piece of paper. So that's the altar. It's like on a scroll, and it's the
Okay.
picture of the Pestermite, and then there's like little details, like tap to like turn left, like the little tap icon I drew, and then
Uh
like tap it and create more when paired with twin splitter twin, and it looks like a
huh.
blueprint for how to
How to play that game? How to play
yeah
that deck? Right? Like
yeah
if you just picked up the deck and you were looking at it like, okay, so
yeah. It's like,
I
what do I do? Yeah, I turn this to the right, and then I
uh,
make a million Pestermites. Oh, okay, I get it.
I would have loved if the four copies of Splinter Twin, they had instead of the human twins, like you have Pestamite for one, left and right, and you have
uh,
Deceiver Exarch for one,
yeah,
and they all have like all the different creatures that you can go off with. Pestamite, Deceiver,
Village.
uh, who's the other creature?
Yeah, I think
Uh,
Village Bellringer.
yeah, Village Bell Ringer. I can't remember. There's four creatures that you can go off with Splinter Twin. That's
Yeah,
quite
yeah.
cute. Okay. All right. So, uh, before we wrap up, so any artists that you look up to, be it other card alter artists or illustrators in the game or illustrators outside the game.
Honestly, I'm part of this like altering like community online, and I don't know the guy's name exactly, but it's like MIB. I think it stands for something like that.
Mm-hmm.
His altars, like he's got this really unique style where all of his altars are like cartoony kind of. They're like weird like parody almost like for example he did Amogus as well, but he made Mogus like a fat like cartoon looking like fat cute Minotaur Mogus holding like a little tiny axe, like super super cute, super cool. um that was really
Chibi
cool.
style. Yeah.
Yeah, like Chibi, yeah. But I mean, I just gotta say, like, I'm sure he's been doing it for a really long time, and I look up to them like tremendously. I've been only doing this for, I want to say like half a year,
Okay.
more than that. So I definitely have like still, I'm constantly working and constantly like trying to create like the best, product I can, and then so everybody, and the other thing too, like all altars have their own like unique style. I like my color blending. I love to blend the colors, and I like to kind of like make it pop and look very unique and beautiful. But I mean, there's some altarists like who have that chibi style. There's some altarists who just who I've seen so many beautiful altars with like Soul Ring and like a galactic background. Like that's something that I've never even really tried and looked beautiful, and within Magic itself, like what cards, what artists are, great. The late Christopher Rush,
Oh
like
man, yeah.
like it's just I mean, first of all, like amazing artist, like original, like OG original.
He's been there from the start. I mean, like he's
Exactly, like lightning. Like my friend was upset because he's got beta lightning bolts and he didn't get the chance to sign them, to get them signed by Christopher Rush, and he unfortunately can't, and it's just like
it's unfortunate, man.
Yeah. But I mean, if you look at Lightning Bolt, like picture it, like back in 1990, whatever, 1995, 1999, like this was a really, really beautiful piece of art compared to like some of the other like really weird, like janky looking, cards that were coming out at the time. And this beautiful lightning bolt, like lighting up the sky around snow covered mountains and snow covered peaks. I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful card.
Yeah. Back then, and that's the thing, like back then, everything was on canvas. They would have it on canvas and then scan it in. But I guess times have changed. One of my more favorite artists is Jason Chan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Jace Mind Sculptor. Deathless Angel, I think that's what the name is.
Yeah.
Very, it's a good meld of digital and paint. Therese Nelson is interesting. I like her. I like her art. Like she made the transition. I mean, she's been there since forever, and she made the transition from hand painted to digital. And her digital stuff are really out there, man. Descendants Path is a good example.
Yeah, I mean, and the Rebecca Guay promo, Path to Exile.
Oh man, now I gotta look it up. Hold on.
Yeah. I mean, Rebecca Guay, like beautiful artist, and it's just all of her art focuses around like these beautiful kind of like medieval looking style. Like women.
Okay, yeah. I know this. Oh man, this is nice.
Right? Yeah, right.
It's very strange. Her she's no longer with Wizards, I believe. But her art has these solid lines, but it's very soft. I feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When she did Wood Elves, I think the Wood Elves, the normal version, the Portals Three Kingdoms version, and the promo, they all look so sweet. Like
yeah. I agree. And Jason Chan, you mentioned Jason Chan, like literally, I think at one point half of my commander deck for I had a Kalia deck. Half of it was just cards by Jason Chan.
It's a Jason Chan team deck.
Yeah, exactly. Like Archon of Justice, Avacyn. Avacyn's so beautiful. Like, I mean, yeah. No, I mean, you named like the best in the game, if you will. Like they're Jason Chan, Desecration Demon, right? Like,
oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Gisela Blade. Oh man, that's another beautiful card. Yeah, no, I agree. I 100% agree.
Okay, so all right. So what's the weirdest altar, or what's your favorite altar so far, and what's the weirdest one that you've done?
My favorite altar. That's tough. I do so many, and I like them. I don't. Actually, you know what? All right, my favorite altar, I gotta say, is a tie. I did Zergo Helm Smasher for my friend,
Okay.
and for his EDH deck. And I'm sorry, I'm talking about all these EDH cards. I do modern stuff too, but a lot of the really fun stuff comes from EDH. Zergo is like the whole point of the deck is you get Zergo out on the field, then you get World Slayer out and
Oh yeah. It just
destroy everything. Yeah. So I altered Zergo, like, border extension. Then I put the World Slayer into his hand, and then I finished it off. My friend wears always, just whenever you see him, he'll always have this black beanie hat on with like neon green stripes. So I added this little tiny beanie to this giant orc warrior, like charging into battle with the World Slayer, and he's wearing this like tiny little beanie, and it's perfectly positioned. It's just perfect for my friend, and he loves it. And it's a tie between that and a card from Kamigawa, Shinka, the Bloodsoaked Keep.
Shinka. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, I did. It's a legendary land. It's beautiful, and I did it for my friend. It's in his Ural deck, and I used like all these Japanese characters
Mm-hmm.
on the side. Like I probably like completely butchered them, just I don't think that grammatically I made much sense, but just it looks really really cool, and that was definitely my favorite one. The weirdest one that I've ever done. I did an Elish Norn for a friend of mine, and for I think his modern deck, but I don't know where he's using it now. And on the bottom, I wrote in New Phyrexene a message for him.
Oh,
And
what does the message read? I see the card. It's on your Instagram.
yeah. I'm actually not gonna say what the message reads, but
Oh, okay. Is it something
yeah.
that we can't air?
yeah, I don't. I just it's a secret message that like I don't know if anybody reads New Phyrexene, but if you did, you would get it would be really funny if you looked at it and you knew anything about it. And it was definitely
I'm going to translate it, and for those of you listening at home, go on to the Sunland Studios Instagram and go translate it as well. I'm very curious to find out. I love that you have a sorry.
No, I was just yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I love that you have a expedition map. I just realized it was an expedition map. I saw a card with a map, literally a map, with a skull and an X on it and a North Star.
Yeah.
And I just
Thank
realized
you,
it's
yeah.
an expedition map.
Yeah, there's actually after this I'm gonna upload the other 3. It's one expedition map, and then there's three more because it was for a friend's Tron deck.
Do they connect up
in
to
modern-
form
and they
a
connect
full
up
map?
and make
Oh, that's brilliant.
yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so far, I mean, so far has anybody ever asked you to do anything lewd or X-rated or triple X on their cards?
Honestly, and I don't really have a problem with it, but a lot of the female characters of Magic: The Gathering universe, like Kalia, I mean, Elish Norn, a lot of times people ask to make them look like these like beautiful or like make them look sexy or right, yeah, like really make them look like, I don't want to say caricatures, but just like really really like
Big eyes, anime eyes, and anime boobs. Right?
Yeah. So I'll make them look beautiful and I'll make them look like sexy and stuff. But I draw the line at like anything weird anime type of stuff. I don't even touch that. I don't go there.
Okay. All right. So right before we wrap up the interview, I'm going to ask you a very random question. So
right.
pick a number between 1 to 8.
7.
7. Okay. If your likeness could be imprinted in any card to date, which card would it be?
Ooh, Sun Titan, without a doubt.
Sun Titan. So you want your face and your likeness into the Sun Titan. So which one? The original Sun Titan or the promo Sun Titan? There's two.
Absolutely 100% original Sun Titan, because it's like this big Greek, like, you know, giant, like, handsome looking warrior guy, and I think I fit that image. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, definitely Sun Titan, because I love that card. It's like been my favorite card for a very long time. I try to jam it into like any deck that it's legal in. It's just one of my favorite cards.
Okay, cool. All right. Okay, so we're gonna end off the interview here. So for one last time, like, where can people find you? Facebook, Instagram, webpage.
Yeah, so we are Sunland Studios, like the card, like the card. I forget what set it's from, like Thinner Chaos, I think. I don't remember. Like the Sunlands, like the 1-mana Sunlands.
1 mana deals 3 damage to target attacking creature.
Yeah,
right? Yep.
like the white lightning bolt, basically. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sunlands, so SUNLANCE Studios, and we're on Instagram and Facebook. And I usually reply, or somebody replies like within 5 minutes on Instagram, on Facebook. You can reach us like 24/7, pretty much. We're always constantly like checking our media and all that stuff. And we're always like constantly talking to people like everywhere, like Hong Kong or India or like, I don't know, Texas. It's not very far, but you know what I mean. All over. We're communicating with people, and like I said, Instagram and Facebook, and you can email us or send us a direct message or a Facebook message or something like that.
Okay, cool. That's good. Okay, so thank you, Jimmy, for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Mick. Thank you so much.
Oh man, it's our pleasure. I mean, we like it when guests come and just hang out with us. Because we don't, nobody listens to the show. I'm very sure. The metrics tell me otherwise, but yeah, nobody listens to the show. We're still the #1 podcast coming out of Singapore. Anyway, so for myself and for Jimmy, we are signing off.
Thank you.
So that wraps up our episode this week. Thank you for listening. Remember, you've been listening to the Power 9 Podcast. Every week, you can find our episodes on power9podcast.com. You can find it on mtgcast.com. You can find us on iTunes and Stitcher. And if you're on iTunes, please leave us a nice review. Put some stars there. You could put 1. It's okay. We don't mind. Nobody listens anyway. You can find us on facebook.com/power9podcast. We put a lot of tweets there. We're making jokey cards. I forgot to post up the last one. It's supposed to be a clash of feels. And it's the guy who's lie down, try not to cry a lot. Yeah. You can find us on Instagram at Power9Podcast. Lots of interesting board states. Lots of pretty pictures, sometimes about coffee, who knows. And you can find us on Twitter at Power9Podcast. The 9 is a number 9. So yeah, that's it for this week. So tune in next week. We're gonna have a review we're gonna have more content, not just the review of the Blessed versus Curse. So stay tuned for that. We're gonna try to do more videos in the future, so I hope you stick around. Check out our YouTube channel. We'll advertise it more in next week's episode. So for myself and Mr. Burns, no, that's more of Duke Nukem. Hail to the king, baby. So for myself, I'm signing out. Ciao.